Good morning, Stampers. This is Katie Johnson. Today I want to show you 3 projects that I've made with the Picture This dies. This die comes as a set of 2, and you can see that they punch out holes. There are 3 rectangular holes here and 6 circular holes here. I've cut these sample pieces to show you what it looks like when it's been die cut, and I want to point out a couple of things. First of all, there's 2 ways to use it. You can use the piece where you've removed the holes so you get some windows showing through, or you can use the pieces that were cut out. The other thing I'll point out is that these dies have stitching on both sides of the cutting edge. You see the cutting edge in here in the middle, that line that goes all the way through, and then you've got the stitching. What that does is it leaves stitching on the outside to frame something on your card, or it leaves stitching on the rectangular piece. And just I did measure the sizes just because I was curious. So you're going to get 3 same size 7/8 inch circles, and these are circles from outside to outside. You're going to get 2 circles that are cut at 1.5 inches, and you're going to get 1 circle that's cut at 3/4 of an inch. Depending upon how you use it, whether you're going to use the piece with the holes in it or use the pieces that get cut out, either way, you're going to end up with some leftovers. So what I like to do is use these clear plastic envelopes that Stampin'Up sells. Comes 50 in a pack. And then for each of my die sets, I'll keep one of these in the container with the dies. So I'll just keep one of these in my envelope with my dies and throw all the extra pieces in, so that next time I go to use this, if I just want like some circle pieces, I've already got some cut. I save all my extras. All right, so I said that there's 2 ways to use these. So here are 2 samples, and then I'm going to make one more for you. This one focuses on what's peeking through the holes, and then I've got a couple of die cuts sitting in the holes to create that underwater scene. For this one, I used designer paper and cut the holes in the designer paper, and then just let those dragonflies kind of pop and be framed by the space. And then I did use one of the circles from the circle piece over here to use for my sentiment. So here's one more tip. In my envelope for this die set, I'm going to keep 2 templates that are cut, because if I'm going to use the cut out pieces to frame a sentiment, then I'm going to use these as a template. The images that are printed on the front of a stamp set are life-size images, so I can take this template and hold it over any of those sentiments and see whether or not the sentiment will fit in that stamped space. These are the parts for today's card. So today's card, I'm going to actually show you a technique called an inlay technique. Now, for those of you who like to write down sizes, normally you're going to make a card that's, you're going to start with a piece of paper that's a half a sheet of paper, fold it in half, and then you get a size card that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Normally, we go down 1/4 inch every time we frame. So my green piece is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have a white piece here that's cut another 1/4 inch smaller at 3 3/4 by 5. So normal framing is 1/4 inch. I'm actually going to have a smaller frame show today. I've already got my die cut piece done here. And this one, you can see me lay it on top. This one is actually cut at 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, because I wanted that smaller sized margin for the green showing through. Now, for an inlay technique, basically what you do is you take these die cut pieces and you reinsert them back into the hole, so that when you run your finger across, it all feels like one layer. But that means I need something for them to glue onto, and I'm going to use my white paper for that. When I do an inlay, I know I could just have glued them right onto the green piece, but when I do an inlay, I like to use a backing piece that's the same color as the white piece, or the front piece. I have several options for glue here, but I'm going to use some liquid glue in the holes. It allows me to slide things around a little bit if I need to for positioning. Okay, so my plan is I'm going to put some twine over here to highlight this focal point, which is going to be a daisy, and then I'm going to put a sentiment off in this space. I want my daisy to be colored, so let's do that first. I'm using the blending brush here and just tapping it down in the center, because that center is going to be the darker area, and they're just going in little circles around the outside to add some color to it. And then you get the fullness of the daisy by layering these two. Blending brushes just clean off this way, and then it's ready to go in a similarly colored ink pad. So in other words, I will use this for all of my yellows, but I'm not really going to put it into dark colors. All right, let's get a glue dot. And I'm going to put the glue dot on the back, on the dry side. Trust me, I tried this putting glue dot on the front of the bottom one, and it didn't really stick very well because that ink is still a little bit wet. Offset the petals. And then I'm going to show you a trick here. So you see I've got a green one already cut. I decided that I wanted some leaves on here, and rather than pull out another punch, I'm just going to use this one. So there's a couple of leaves. Trust me, it'll look great when I'm done. I want to leave myself enough space in the inside down here for the adhesive to catch on it. So I'm kind of cutting just something long-ish, so that I can put some adhesive behind here, and look how it's going to look. It's going to look great. See? It's going to just look like a couple of leaves sticking out from behind. Love the silicone craft mat. It helps to keep my space neat when I was doing the sponging, but it also prevents adhesive from getting on my paper down there. Okay, so I wanted green kind of showing high and low because it's going to fit into this space here, so that that just worked for spacing the green. I do need to put my twine on first. I'm going to wrap this 3 times. So I'm crossing it in the middle, going straight up across the back, so this is almost parallel with the sides, crossing it in the front again, coming up in the middle, and then kind of going straight down through the middle. And if it's not perfectly even, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be hidden by that flower. So that's basically what it's going to look like. And I'm going to add a rhinestone. Okay, so that's going to go there in just a moment, but I still need to deal with the sentiment. My plan for the sentiment is to stamp it in white on black and have it coming out from the side here. Remember I said that I keep one of these as a template just to see how it looks for sizes. I need something small-ish to fit into this space right here. And this Just For You looks like it's going to work just fine. I don't want too much paper above and below the sentiment, so it's going to go on this piece right here. And I'm going to tuck it under. The reason I haven't put this down tight yet is because I'm going to tuck that flower right on top of it. Stampin' Up! Does sell a white craft ink. Craft inks are especially good for heat embossing, and I want this white to pop, so I am going to heat emboss it. All right, so I put my embossing powder in a tray because it's so easy to just sprinkle right over the tray, and then I don't get any mess on my work surface. Okay, so here's my die cut piece. It's going to fit right into this space here. So leave some comments. Let me know what you think about a set of dies like this that cuts either a piece with holes in it or that has the holes that you can actually use. And if you liked what you saw, please hit the like button for me. And if you'd like to see more of this, then make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you get notifications when I do post a new video. Hey, talk to you the next time. Bye.